Listen, people, there's something that you need to know. There's a crash coming in Web3.
They were going down!
It's absolutely on its way, and if you aren't preparing for it now, you could get washed away with the chaos that's coming your way. So here's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna tell you what's happening, why it's happening, and how to weather that storm. That's it. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a Web3 marketing strategist, and this is the best place to learn about Web3, NFTs, and how to market it all. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know what you think about a Web3 crash and whether that thing is coming, if you agree or disagree. Let's debate in the comments. I would love to talk about it because I'm absolutely sure it's coming, and let's get started. Okay, so here's what's happening with Web3 right now. We're seeing a fever pitch of new blockchain technology, dApps, DeFi, NFTs, all of that stuff. And that sounds great, right? It definitely is great for the moment. But it's so important for you to remember right now that what goes up must come down.
What goes up must come down.
And there is a very clearly established cycle to every new emerging technology, but we'll get to that in just a second. First, let's look at the symptoms. So symptom one is the crypto crash. So there are no two ways about it. Crypto is down from its historic highs. Over the last year, the biggest cryptos have all continued to drop in value, with some sources reporting a 60% drop in overall value for the market. And since almost all of Web3 is based on the idea of freedom brought on by cryptocurrency and the blockchain, this is a move that can kill confidence in Web3 in the markets. Symptom number two is the NFT traffic drop. So the initial NFT craze is definitely over. We're now seeing that the trading volume on OpenSea, which you probably know is the biggest NFT trade network, has dropped by 99% from its high in May 2022. That is an immense drop. Now, I talk a lot more about the NFT winter in this video, which has really been going on since January, so you can learn about it there. But effectively, what's happening is just that very few people are buying NFTs anymore in comparison to its highest highs just a few months ago. And this matters because it was recently a very public part of the Web3 puzzle. It was really, in a lot of ways, the reason for many, many people getting involved in Web3 more generally. And finally, symptom number three is the metaverse crash. So we've all known for a while that Zuckerberg was way overspending on his metaverse bid. He's reportedly been losing billions just on the sale of Quest devices alone. And then the reports started to surface about how not even Zuck's own employees at Meta were willing to use Horizon Worlds to get work done. Now it's just a bloodbath.
Right now the streets are a bloodbath.
Everyone is seemingly calling Zuck out for his enormous lack of focus and the incredible drain on profits that the metaverse bid has become for Meta more generally. But that's not quite the end of the story, because Horizon Worlds isn't the only metaverse that was suffering. Decentraland is one of the biggest metaverse opportunities out there today, and its land at one time was selling higher than just about every other metaverses. But around the time that it was reported that Zuck's dreams were crashing, Decentraland was having a pretty bad time too, because a report suddenly surfaced claiming that over a 24-hour period, Decentraland only had 38 active users. That is an absolute pittance. That is lint in your pocket.
Looks like lint.
But they responded by arguing that they had 8,000 during that period, which, in my opinion, still is not a lot. If you look at any popular social network today, 8,000 is nowhere close to critical mass. If you look at any very popular game that has an online element today, 8,000 is nowhere near critical mass. So it's not a great number, neither one looks good. So let's take all three of these different symptoms, let's kind of put them together and let's look at them as pillars that hold up Web3, right? So Web3, like all technologies, is built on certain technologies, on certain structures, on certain things that people look to as the big benefits of it, right? And the most public of those structures are going to tend to have the biggest impact on the positive or negative reactions of the public. So if suddenly we have very public things like NFTs, like the metaverse, and like crypto all having a hard time, suddenly those big pillars are starting to crumble. Suddenly we have a lot less confidence in the market. Suddenly people are going to start to doubt Web3 more generally a lot more. Okay, so why is this happening? That's the really big question. Why are all of these pillars starting to crumble? It's new tech, it still works. Why aren't people continuing to have that same level of excitement about it? And the answer to this question is something called the hype cycle. The hype cycle is something that all new technologies go through, and it looks like this. What you're seeing is a graph that tracks the path in terms of user adoption for every new technology ever. The printing press went through it, the car went through it, the internet went through it, and Web3 is going through it now. The first section of this graph is the innovation trigger. So this is simply the starting point. Somebody finds and starts to market a new innovation. They find some new technology and they want to start to sell it. This is quickly followed by a peak. That's the peak of inflated expectations. This is a period of hyper excitement about the technology. Everybody is excited about it. Everybody is starting to adopt it. Everything looks great. It seems like the tech is going to last forever. But then comes the trough of disillusionment. So in this phase, many people just stop using the technology. And when people stop using the technology, there is this sudden downturn in the intrinsic value of that technology as well. People aren't willing to pay as much for it. This could happen for a lot of different reasons, but the overall effect is that people don't feel that the promise of the technology is being fulfilled, and that is the reason that they stop spending on it, okay? So a great example here is NFTs, like we just talked about. So NFTs had this huge high, right? Everybody was in that peak of inflated expectations, and then all of a sudden, all of those people started to say, I don't really see the intrinsic value here, because they didn't have the view on the utilities, and so they didn't understand the uniqueness of it beyond just the art itself. And as a result, boom, now it starts to go into the trough of disillusionment, because a lot more people are disillusioned about the value of NFTs more generally.
I don't believe in it.
And then finally, the trough of disillusionment comes into the plateau of productivity. So this is more or less the slow growth curve that takes the technology from its lowest point and builds on it more slowly and sustainably until it becomes a part of everyday life. Now, one thing that's really important to keep in mind here is that you can't assume every technology will survive the cycle. Many products and services have died after the peak of inflated expectations because they could never build sustainability into the tech. So why did I take you down that road? Well, because we're going to look at a study performed by Gartner that tracks emerging technologies from year to year across this hype cycle. So let's first look at 2021's hype cycle. I'm going to link these in the description so you can take a closer look, but just for now, understand, there's black dots and blue dots and triangles, and those all correspond to different distances, lengths of time before it reaches maturity in the hype cycle. So if it's a red triangle, for instance, that's going to be 10 years or more, all right? So let's just point out a few different things on this hype cycle. First, NFTs are in the peak of inflated expectations, which makes total sense because that was the wildest time on record for NFTs. And what they called decentralized web in 2021, but is now referred to as Web3, was still in that innovation trigger phase of the cycle. Now let's look at 2022's hype cycle. So NFTs in this one are sliding down that slope away from the peak into the trough of disillusionment, along with a few other things. Metaverse is still considered to be in the innovation trigger phase. And what's really noticeable about that is that Gartner thinks it's going to take 10 years before we can get to that level of maturity, which is clearly a risk, right? Because Metaverse is already getting some terrible press. It's already getting absolutely slammed all the time. And it hasn't even gotten to a point where people would say that the expectations are inflated for this technology. But Web3 has made it into that peak of inflated expectations now, which makes sense, right? Because Web3 is all about blockchain tech and freedom and community, and people are just flocking to those new opportunities. Now that NFTs have kind of died down as a craze, it's becoming the only thing that people can talk about. So Web3 is not going to crash tomorrow. I don't want you to think that that's going to happen. In fact, it's very likely to continue growing in the near term. But eventually, that fever is going to start to cool, and people are going to start to pull out of the space. I'm going to give it a couple years until that happens, but it will happen. Which raises the question, how can you prepare for a Web3 crash? Well, first things first, I think we might actually have a bit of an advantage here versus other tech crashes. And not just because you're aware of this early, you absolute genius, that's amazing for you, but because Web3 by its very nature is decentralized, right? Which means that there are different facets of the Web3 infrastructure that are already farther along in the hype cycle or further behind or whatever. Decentralized web / Web3 might be in the innovation trigger during 2021, but cryptocurrency during that same period is in the productivity plateau. And now in 2022, NFTs are just starting their journey through the trough of disillusionment. So as much as we talk about ideas of decentralization and how everything is separate, all of these pieces really do work together in some ways. So for example, NFTs again, NFTs are tied directly to specific blockchains, which also push particular cryptocurrencies, right? So Ethereum and Solana, both are very big networks that also have a cryptocurrency and a very big NFT network. But that's exactly why what I'm gonna say next is so important to where Web3 is today. Because if we're continuing to tie Web3 to things that have already hit that plateau of productivity, it's gonna help us kind of pull it through, okay? So if we look at things like cryptocurrency, which are already in the plateau of productivity, you can see that they are already tied to a lot of those other things like NFTs, like smart contracts, etc. And if you look at 2021, at the hype cycle, you can see that smart contracts were almost through the trough of disillusionment as well. And we can probably say that they've made it through because of how heavily they're used in Web3, in NFTs, etc. So if we continue to tie Web3 and the pieces of Web3 that are most important to those parts that have already made it through the trough or have almost made it through the trough, it's going to kind of help us to tether it and pull everything through.
It's all coming together perfectly.
So what does that mean for you? It means that you have a unique opportunity to get past the Web3 crash if you stay focused on core principles. So hopefully by the time the crash happens, NFTs have started to hit that plateau. But even if they haven't, you know that you can attract people to your business by getting more tech-first audiences involved if you stick to core principles, if you stick to things that have made it through, right? So if you allow crypto payments, you use smart contracts, you build your community, those things are vital. They're not going away and they're going to help you in the long run. So there you go. I hope you can see that this crash is coming a little more clearly now. There is absolutely something coming. So we need to prepare for it or we're going to be left behind. But if you disagree or if you agree, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you think about this Web3 crash. If you think I'm nuts or not, let's debate, let's get into it, let's get our hands dirty. Otherwise, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.